Hey everyone, it's Jason, and I am a Metallica simp. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. And I am also a overweight millennial metal nerd, and my nipples are nipples. Who cares? But you know what we do care about? Our opinions about the brand new Metallica album, 72 Seasons. I have some thoughts, and I am going to share those thoughts with all of you. And I know what you're thinking. You don't care what I think about this album. You don't care about Metallica, even though you have a lot of opinions about it. So, let's jump into this video and let's piss some people off. Alright everyone, so like I said in the beginning of the video, Metallica released a brand new album titled 72 Seasons. And this video is not necessarily a review, but this is more so about my opinions about the opinions of this album. And I want to get into the idea of let's be completely honest about this record. And then after we get done talking about the things that are obviously good about it and the things that are obviously wrong with it, then I'm going to talk about why all of you are either right or wrong with your opinions about this album. So let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with the good. The good is I really enjoyed how they mixed James Hetfield's vocals in this album. I think it sets pretty good in the mix, and I believe that overall the lyrics are pretty solid. And I know some people have some gripes about the lyrics, but when I was looking through some of the lyrics, I'm like, wow, I mean, these lyrics are pretty dark. They are personal, which that's one of the gripes that people have with it. But at the end of the day, they're not sloppy lyrics at all, and they do convey a message that James Hetfield was trying to put out on this record, which has a darker theme. Compared to other albums in the past. So also too, I found too that there was some moments in the album where there were some guitar solos that really popped out and had a very bright feeling to them that I felt was really good for the album. Like there were some times where there was this kind of like a dark feeling. Then you had these guitar solos that kind of brought some light into the track. So I kind of appreciated that. Let's talk about the riffs. Overall, there was some pretty solid riffing going on in this album. You Must Burn, that's pretty good. That was a pretty good song. Shadows Follow, pretty good. The last track, I think it's called Inamorata, was not expecting that at all for a Metallica album. So overall, pretty diverse. There was not one time I felt like the album got too sluggish or was what I would think would be boring. I was looking forward to when one track ended. I was looking forward to what the next one was going to bring. Let's talk about the drumming. The drumming, I think, was pretty solid. Not wonderful, but pretty solid. Considering their age, pretty good. Let's also talk about their age and let's talk about the summary, like what we think about the album as a whole compared to like in general. So for them being as old as they are and putting out a record like this, that's pretty impressive. I don't see AC/DC rocking this hard. I mean, I don't see other bands besides your Megadeths, stuff like that. I don't see a lot of bands doing what they're doing at their age, and especially them being a legacy band. So I think it's pretty good. I would go as far as to say that I think this whole record is definitely better than the second half of their previous two records. So I mean that's my honest opinion about it. So overall, great variety. I don't think there is a single bad song on this album. Now let's talk about the bad. The bad. Let's talk about the production. Ever since Death Magnetic came out, they've had a similar production style. That guitar tone, man, I do not like it. I wish James Hetfield would, and Kirk, both of them, I wish they would. There are so many great amps out there. There's so many great tones. Like, why do you choose that clangy, twangy, thin guitar tone that just sounds muddy and chunky, but chunky not in a good way? Like why? Replace that. Get a freaking Mesa Boogie, or get a dual rectifier. Get a PV6505. Get an Engel. Get something better than this current. I think that they're actually using Mesa Boogie. I believe. I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments if you know for sure what they're using. But whatever, they need to do something better. Like, the production, guitar tone wise, for a band that is worth as much money as they are, that is the best they can come up with. Like, come on. You had better tone back in the 80s. So, there's that. Some of the guitar solos start sounding the same. I mean, a long time ago, a friend of mine that I was in a band with, he said that, like we were talking about Trivium, and he said that one of the things he didn't like about Trivium was that they would put guitar solos in a song just for the sake of having a guitar solo. Metallica does that now. I feel like some songs, they put guitar solos in the songs just because they think it needs a guitar solo. And sometimes I don't think it necessarily does. A lot of guitar solos sound the same. Kirk Hammett practically only knows how to write one type of guitar solo, and I think even he acknowledges that. So let's talk about the drums. There was some times that the drums needed to be better. Like, there were some times where there was this build up, and then when the drop came, it just, like, If Darkness Has Sung is a good example of that. They had this very, very long intro, and then eventually when it finally came down, the drop, when it actually got into the rhythm of the song, it fell flat. There could have been a lot more being done. The hi-hats are annoyingly loud in the mix. The snare is annoyingly loud in the mix. And the drum tones just do not sound that good. So that is one thing that I do not like about the drums. Bass, possibly the best part of I don't think there was any problem with the bass. Rob seemed to do all right when it came to that. I mean, I guess I should have put that in the good part of the video. But, so I don't really find anything wrong with the bass. So, overall, I think it's a good album. It's not great. It's not bad. It's just a very solid, middle-of-the-road, nothing special, solid record. So, that being said, why am I seeing everyone absolutely shitting on this album online? Why am I seeing it? Like, I honestly believe that people are being intellectually dishonest. And I believe that part of it is because they feel like that this is what you have to do as a metalhead. That liking something based on people still think it's cool just to hate on a band for no reason at all. Metallica, people who have an opinion about Metallica, they have one of the loudest opinions ever of any fan base. You have several different types of opinions about Metallica. You have the Metallica would stop being good in the 80s. You have people who said that Metallica sold out after the Black Album. You have the Saint Anger is the worst album of all time, and therefore I hate this band forever, and there's nothing they can do to ever redeem themselves from that album. Then you have the people who are just absolute simps for Metallica. Like they can never do no wrong. I am not one of them. I joked about in the front. It was a joke. I am not a Metallica simp. I do see their flaws, and that's okay. Then you got the people who say, you got the people who say that Load and Reload were good albums all the way through. And you're wrong. There's good songs on those albums, but some of these songs that people are like, oh yeah, you ever listen to the B to the not the popular songs on those albums, and oh, that's some of Metallica's best material. You're wrong. No, it's not. That's a joke too, like I said. But my position about all this is, if you've been watching my channel long enough, you know that I am very, very against metal elitism. I hate gatekeepers. I do not like people who think that their opinion is the only right opinion, and no matter what, anyone who says otherwise is a poser, or they make you feel like that your opinion doesn't matter because you don't agree with them. That's partly some reasons why I just don't like. I don't particularly enjoy Finn McKenty's content or Becoming the Night, especially Becoming the Night. Very metal elitist. I do not like it. And I watched his reaction to Darkness Had a Son, and yes, while his opinion on some of that was correct, I just don't like that I just don't agree with a lot of what he's saying. Like saying that they don't know how to write a song anymore. That is not true. Listen to some of these songs on this new album. There are some really great riffs. There's some great structure. Like I said, in Inamorata, I was not expecting Metallica to write a song like that. I was not expecting that. That song in itself proves that they are capable of still writing songs. So, but because you heard 2 songs from the record, well, guess what? I've listened to plenty of other good records out there back in the day, and I just happened to listen to 2 bad songs on a record before I listened to everything else. But if I went just based off that, that mentality, like if I just happened to listen to 2 bad songs on the album, but the rest were were either solid or not great, then who's wrong? I would be wrong. It's not their fault that I listened to the 2 worst tracks on the album. Doesn't mean it's a great album. It just means that it's a good album, and you got to give the whole thing a shot. But this idea that Metallica stopped being good after Saint Anger is ridiculous. They have some great songs, but have they written some bad songs since then? Yes. Like I said, the second half, besides Spit Out the Bone, and maybe there was one other song, like I think Here Comes Revenge, that's a pretty good song from Hardwired. A lot of those songs put me to sleep. like Metallica, what are you doing? Stop writing these boring ass, slower songs. And I think they listened, because not one song on here got that slow. Maybe for little snippets, just to break up the monotony, they did throw some stuff in there to break up the timing, and I believe it worked. But like I said, I will not sit here and tell you that this is their best album, or I will not even sit here and tell you that it's better than Death Magnetic or better than Hardwired, because I believe Hardwired has some of the best songs in this new era Metallica, like Moth to Flame, Atlas Arise. To those songs, I believe those are Metallica classics at this point. Or even Spit Out the Bone. Spit Out the Bone is all right. But like the new album, is there any particular song that I think just stands out above the rest? No. But it doesn't need to. I mean, Metallica, they're getting up there in age. And like I said before, and I wholeheartedly believe this, that the same people who are complaining about Metallica's new album are the same people who thought Iron Maiden's latest album, Senjutsu, was amazing. That album was, in my opinion, just okay. It was nothing great, but I heard everyone going on like how great it was. There is not one single memorable song on that record. And actually, to tell you the truth, there was a person who re-recorded it, remade it, and it sounded better than Iron Maiden's version. So what does that tell you? The production on that record, Senjutsu, sucked. And people said it was good. And some of those people I saw were saying that that album was good or saying that this album by Metallica sucks. You're wrong. You're wrong. But let's just say it like this. And I want to leave on this point. I want to end this video on this point. Metallica gets held to a different standard than other bands, and I don't know why. And I'm going to leave on this, and this is going to be my mic drop moment. If Metallica made this their final record right now, it would be a better record and a better note to leave on than Black Sabbath's final record. Fact. Black Sabbath's final record was not very good, and they acknowledged that. That was their final record. Ozzy, even himself, said that he would go back and redo it, or change it, if it were up to him. But if Metallica stopped right now, 72 Seasons would be a better record than Black Sabbath's final record. So I'm going to leave that with all of you to think about. And I hope you enjoyed my video. I hope you found something out of this. But I just want you all to just, it's okay to not like the Metallica album. You have your opinion. That's perfectly fine. If you like it, great. But I will not listen to anyone who says it's either the best thing they've ever done or the worst thing they've ever done. Because the intellectually honest person would say that it's just fine. It's just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing great, nothing awful. So, anyone who says otherwise, they are trying to look cool because they think it's cool to hate on a band in 2023 that just no one cares. If you don't like a band, like you go to any Metal Injection article, every time Metallica comes out, you will always see the same people saying the same stupid stuff. No one cares. Anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out my video and for giving my channel a chance. If you would be so nice and inclined to help me out, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like. It would help this video out a lot. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and a wonderful and safe upcoming work week. I'll see you all in the next video. Always remember, long live heavy metal.